Tonight on Geek Nation, we look at Port Brewing's Hop 15 Double IPA. Hey guys, welcome to Beer Geek Nation. I'm your host, Chris Stelz. Tonight we're going to be looking at another California Double IPA, one of my favorite styles. Seems to be a lot of your favorite style too. I get a lot of requests for double IPAs and West Coast IPAs, so I thought I'd do another one. I've had kind of sitting in my fridge for a while, I've been meaning to get to. It's Friday night, just got home from work. What better time to pop open a double IPA? This is Port Brewing's. It's their Hop 15 ale. It's considered double IPA, like I said. It's 9.8% ABV, alcohol by volume. It is a year-round beer, but it's kind of a weird year-round beer. They only brew it when they have room to brew it, or when they have room in their tanks to store it. So, as far as I know, there is no set schedule for when it is released, but it is a year-round beer, so I guess they make enough to last, a couple months, and then they'll make some more. I don't know. I had to order this one online. I've seen it in a local bottle shop here, but it was like twice the price. But Port is known for a lot of kind of really good beers. They also brew Lost Abbey beers too, which you may or may not have known. So a lot of really good, kind of experimental Belgian stuff comes out of them too. The only other beer, actually this is the only Port Brewing Company beer I've ever had. I've had some Lost Abbey beers. I do have a bottle of their Old Viscosity Imperial Stout. I just haven't had a chance to try it yet. This one, actually, the only time I've ever had it was on tap at a local restaurant here, and it was my first Port Brewing. I'm like, well, I'm going to try it. I was blown away by it. I couldn't even believe it was 10%, and that's one of the big characteristics of this, but I'll get into that and how they kind of do that with this one. It was brewed for the Port Brewing's 15th anniversary. It uses 15 different varieties of hops, and it's hopped during the boil every 15 minutes. So you're going to get huge hop aroma as well as hop bitterness because of the every 15 minutes. Basically, when beer is made, bittering hops are added in the first part of the boil, and they're boiled the longest. The longer a hop is boiled, the more bitter comes out of the actual hop. The shorter it's boiled, the more aroma and the more actual taste of the hop you're going to get rather than the bitterness from it. So that's what they do, kind of like what Dogfish Head does with their 60-minute, 90-minute, 120-minute IPAs. But let's get this one cracked open because I'm kind of excited about this one. A little bit of excitement about it. I know it's going to smell great. I'll let you know how it smells, how it tastes, and I will give you a final verdict when we come back. So as soon as you pop the cap on this one, I mean literally I had the cap half off and I was already smelling hops coming out of this thing. It is just a hop bomb. Pouring its hops, you just smell hops, citrus hops, mango, bitter, just like even the malt was starting to come out in the pour too, which I was really surprised by. Like I said, the first time I had this, it was on tap, so I didn't get to smell it, out of a bottle pouring or anything. But the initial aroma I get, and I've said this 3 or 4 times now, I get it with, the West Coast, the really high quality double IPAs. Your Pliny the Elders, Hop Stupid. Then you go to the middle of the country, you have, Double Trouble from Founders and Hop Slam. When you drink these fresh, you just get this hop bubble, and that's the only way I can describe it. It's like an area around the cup and the bottle of just, hop aroma. It's just, you just want to dive in and live there. At least I do, but I'm a little weird like that. But anyway, let's come back to reality now and give you a smell. Just lots of peach and mango and pineapple, and it just smells like a citrus grove, and it's got oranges, and I get a lot of pineapple. Yeah, definitely a lot of pineapple in that one. Not a lot of bitterness. There really isn't a lot of bitterness. There's just enough bitterness in there. Soon it hits the tongue, you get the bitterness. By the back of the tongue, it's gone. It's a really sweet malt. It's a really sweet IPA, so it doesn't have it doesn't have that West Coast really bitter, dry finish to it, which I actually enjoy more. So I kind of tend to go more towards hop slam rather than say a Pliny the Elder, which is kind of drier. But this is more in the hop slam kind of field where it's definitely a sweeter IPA, double IPA. Yeah, it's delicious, absolutely delicious. This is about 40 degrees, so it's pretty much optimum temperature. I'm getting a little bit of pininess that I didn't get on the aroma. That is definitely there. Again, there's definitely some bitterness, but really, it comes and goes real quick, which is kind of cool. I do taste a little bit of the alcohol. I actually taste a little bit more. I don't remember tasting that much when I had it the first time. I do taste it in this, but it is almost a 10% beer, so I was expecting that. It's it's not overpowering, but it definitely knows, hey, I'm here, I'm here, and I love it. So, but the hop quality and the malt quality is just top notch on this one. Everything's blended together real well. It's a perfect dynamic for a double IPA. Sometimes you can get a beer that's not bitter enough or too bitter, like Gubna, which was kind of a mess. Gubna U. I'm talking about you. It is a little bit of a mess, but you can go check out my review for that one. But anyway, this is kind of a perfect example of how an IPA can actually come together. Really high IBUs. It's probably, I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know, but it's probably close to 100 IBUs, I would imagine. And to get something like 100 IBUs and manage to make it, not overly bitter and overpowering it takes a fine hand. They really know what they're doing there at Port. So this is Port Brewing Company's. It's their Hop 15. It is available year-round, where you can get Port Brewing stuff. I guess it's not always available because they only brew it when they do have the capacity to brew it. And when I say that, when they have the tanks or the bottling line available or whatever, I don't know. But it says when they have the chance to brew it. So I highly recommend it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 9. It's good stuff. Until next time, cheers.